We want to encourage those who want to remain corrupt and steal money, that I beg the money should be used to bless our people. Thank you and God bless.
Deputy Minister for Information Services. Maybe his background gave him that training. What do you know about him? Abu, on this one, from there we got a Shanti.
What is it you do?
So, Abu.
No, don't do that.
Abu, yeah, how can you weigh in? So, what was the professional background of the current Deputy Minister for Information Services? Maybe his background gave him that training. What do you know about him?
Yombli Kanga Lawrence. Okay, Yombli Kanga Lawrence to be office, I think, page. And you know what a page is at the legislature. You know, move document around, somebody coming in the office. Oh yeah, the senator is busy. Those are the things Daniel was doing. So,
errand boy?
Yeah, he was just an errand boy to President pro tem de la Branch Senate when she was just a senator of Grand Bassa County. So you know, Yomblin, like I said the last time, she is a bad girl to BOAKAI. And so whatever, mostly when she tells BOAKAI to do 10 things, BOAKAI will at least do 8. One of those things that she asked of Mr. BOAKAI was to make this loose talker, this self-read, very imprudent young boy as a deputy minister for public affairs. Daniel has shown by all indication that he's self-read. He has got no good upbringing. I understand that he comes from father lineage is from Bomi County, and that is a predominantly, you know, Islamic or Muslim county. And people bring their children up, you know, especially always around your parent. They tell you what is good for you and what is not good for you. And I'm sure that his migration to Monrovia has had a toll on him. Hence, he doesn't know that you don't disrespect people on the basis of what they express. Can you imagine? He look at Mr. Cummins, Mr. Creighton Duncan, former President. The man has insulted everybody in our country. He has insulted everybody who disagree professionally with Joseph Newman BOAKAI. Once you said something that is presumed to be in disagreement with Mr. Joseph BOAKAI, immediately, even if it is 2 a.m. in the morning, he will run to that platform at the Information Ministry. That is his assignment is at any time. There should be no second that will pass by when you hear any disagreement against the president and you don't run to that platform and insult that person. So the Ministry of Information has now been reduced to the Ministry of Insult. The Ministry of Insult. The Ministry of Disrespect to the norms of society. It is very unfortunate that, to wrap it up from my end, very unfortunate that you will have taxpayers' money being wasted on that ministry. A ministry that is supposed to speak for the 3 branches of government. The Ministry of Information is not only for the executive branch. But Daniel Sano, Jeremy Pian, stay on that platform. They insult senator, they insult representative, they insult members of the judiciary, they insult members of the clergy, they insult market women, they insult everybody. Power has gotten over their head. They insult just anybody who have any disagreement with the government.
The man is mentally ill. Mental ill person must not be held liable. What do you do in a situation as a criminal justice practitioner and a law enforcement actor? There are steps in which you proceed in dealing with that kind of situation. One, you must use the methodology of persuasions If that person is mentally insane and his actions is counterclocks to law enforcement processes or is detrimental to society, you use a persuasion proceeding. You try to persuade him. If you cannot persuade him as a law enforcement person, because in more instant case, police officer may appear more dangerous in the face or the minds and ideas of a mental ill personnel, a mental ill person. So if you cannot use that medium as a police officer to persuade him, you bring in psychologists. You bring in psychologists. You bring in religious people. You bring in a reputable and dignifiable people in the community to talk to him so that he could be able to listen to these. I mean, every mental ill person has some weight of soft spot. So he will be able to listen in that process. You did not do that as a law enforcement practitioner. You went in to ensure that you use force that was not proportionate. In criminal justice, there are varieties of force as a law enforcement practitioners to execute. In order to implement a law enforcement instruction or law enforcement operation, you must understand the kinds of force to use. The force must be proportional.
Liberia and George, where if you allow the opposition to win, you will suffer. The Liberians will suffer. Our economy hardship, poor will suffer, rich will suffer, every people will suffer. You see, all the four classes of human will suffer. We suffer. I'm not from Liberia, but that's the message of the Lord for the people in Liberia. If you put that opposition of Bukene or Bukani to be your president, oh, Liberia will sink. Calamity will befall Liberia. You don't expect joy again. The name Liberia will crash. This person has nothing to offer you. Spiritual Liberia will die. The best man for this job is George Ware. Vote him and he will do better than ever.
Spoon, because spoon full the people the book of BOAKAI. Yes, you told me how you told people that have been having 45 years experience, And see what's going on here. See what's going on here.
What's going on here? You want to look the camera?
It's very tough. Very tough.
When you say things are tough, what do you mean?
To get money, young man.
You want to look the camera?
To get money. You see the town?
To get money high right now?
One. Yes. See the US rate. And the man with a 45-year experience, it's just a bluff. For nothing experience there. For nothing experience, but I brought you to the people here. You see, when you see this police running behind you, taking your market, how people eat. Just my school coming open now. School just tell my school coming open. And I want for you to go and tell Boaka, you're from school, you tell Boaka, you should put your experience into use. Put your experience into use. We can see your experience. 45 years experience, but more agriculturalist, you can see what it meant to people.
But just finally, do you think the economic hardship you're talking about is the fault of the government, or is just the reality as per what's happening across the world?
If you get experience, we should come with experience. Come with experience. Come with experience. Now you have more 45 years experience. Guess what on the dogger? He got no experience. That's so nothing 45 experience.
Okay, thank you very much. Why any?
My name is Favor.
Okay, Favor. Okay, so what you will say to your government?
The country is so hard for us and our parents. We are not going to school or children. We are saying, but this time, my mother said 20 o'clock to finish. It can be hard. My mother not affording for me to send me to school. So we want for the government to make everything so for us, for my mother to afford to send us to school.
You going to school?
No.
You're not going to school right now?
Yeah.
You said what's your name, Favor? So what kind of business your man doing?
Kobo.
She's doing Kobo business. She's selling across there, all the way on the other side. Yeah. Your man know like talking to Spoon TV right now.
No.
And you want the government to improve the country so things can get easier with your parents and so you can go to school.
Yeah.
No money in the country. The country very hard. Even before I think Joria turns out better because we get one or two. But so the new book getting power, the speaker shit, we are having two speakers. The artificial speaker and the real speaker. The real speaker just resign. But they put in our parliament, they get law for the country. They just seeking a set interest on the ways on the committee, so they forget about the country. They do all type of stuff. Spoil the country image abroad. Can you imagine? You look at the capital building, catch your fire burning. What the men and they're fighting for power. Don't see what
but why do you think things are hard in the country? What do you think is responsible for the harsh economic situation? Is it the fault of the government, or is it the other aspect that has to do with the fact that hardship will always be around?
No, the government, for me, what I know is the government not having contact.
Contact?
Yeah, the president, because if you look at the president cried up on University of Labrador or PSC, he got nobody outside that you know. He sells a property, he never exposed himself because he's a man, he's very savage. He never show himself to people. But for me, what I noticed, the president attended LU and got PSC degree, so he had no connection outside. One of the meeting, bang.
You think that's the reason why there's an economic hardship in the country?
And the judges system in the country not fair. So no one can look at living money and bringing abroad and invest because abroad law is very fragile. They don't respect the law.
When it comes to the business, things are not really improving because the economic system is very high. Money is not coming in. Okay. People are not doing business that before.
Okay. Yeah. People not doing business that before.
Yeah.
So money not coming in.
Yeah, money not coming in.
Okay, let's talk about the exchange rate, for example. What's the exchange rate right now?
The exchange rate gone to 200.
200?
Yeah.
When was the last time you changed money for 200?
Yeah, quite recently, like.
They rescue you. What a million rescue. You want the press people, you're no. Show me a million rescue. To save somebody, the million rescue. Yeah. To deliver you for something, take you for something. So you're a poor people. Rescue me, save. But we the old people. Rescue the million rescue. That will can't help me while eating water. But you can't tell you the water. You can't put one making the water back to kill on money. You know they get people the pressure. Husband not working. I live in Joseph. I even made 1,000 a lot. I even made 500 a lot profit. Let me come and go. Children waiting for me. You are Joseph Baga. Where will be our result next year? We wouldn't even 1 year. Where will be our result the following year? Okay, thank you so much. What's your name? What's your name?
My name is Special Man.
Patience, man. You sell the market here?
Yes.
Oh, you sell it here?
Yes.
I'm selling it until I get feeling on.
No market. Can't get some. I go look for Yancy some.
You go look for the market, you see some?
Yancy food, because the food price, the way up, you not understand ourselves. When you go to there, you buy another price. When you come, you buy a different price. So the money I can put it back on my.
Also, the money you carry in, to the cold storage.
They put it back on my. Very rich.
How much for the fish?
You buy snapper 14,000. What we used to buy 10,000, 8,000. Buy it 14,000. One cartoon snapper 14,000. So we beg the government. We ask y'all to help us to beg our government. We say you keep to rescue us. When they rescue that ain't doing that, we're not understanding it. And when they pull the police on the street, our boyfriend here, they're not giving nothing to us again. They say they can't rescue us. While they cause a motor runner running, they were not doing they are breaking the government. We the poor people, they must find place for us that we want be able to scale our clothes. They got poor people, they got rich people in the town. Some of us, we not got no from the South God. And then basically we do, we not understand our children went to school. Our children, when we can't sell the market, we can't make a damn. They say rescue, but we not understanding the rescue team. So they were taking them from all of the street for smoking, for drugs and things. But I think you see them now. All of them tend to zoom in. They can stay in the freeze.
So the drugs are to you?
It's rampant now. It's more than rampant.
Okay.
The drugs is rampant. Some of them almost 20% on the street because of zooming.
The zombie drugs?
Yeah, the zooming and the bringing drugs back up again. Because we are trying to sell our kush. But now the zooming. When you say I see that you are so sticking at it. So we asking him to please. We the parent about boys children. We ask him to please help us to make our children to leave zooming. Because he said he came to change things. And no change, we not understand our land. Police people getting our keke motor back. Hata. Police people beating our children on the street. They say they should register. They should become go over there, go over that one. Everything they do. But what police people home king? That just one thing we just getting dropping like that. Tell him, don't turn the napa, tell him sorry. We're not taking somebody out for the country. So we should tell our president to help we the poor people.
The influential authority, oversight authority for SOEs, thus leading to the weak oversight of SOEs for years. Accountability and waste and abuse of resources across state-owned enterprises are prevalent, thereby affecting the effective delivery of core public services and hence undermine national growth and development. Let me say without mincing words that many of our SOEs are marred with mismanagement and abuse of resources they control to provide services to Liberians.
Fellow Liberians, home and abroad, it's a privilege again for us to be on here. We want to use this time to extend our thanks and appreciation to all of you who continue to remain very supportive to what we do here. We do appreciate you. You know, without your support, without your presence, we will not be here up to this level. When we started in 2015, others felt that it was a joke. Some said we were going nowhere, we were in the pockets of people, and at the end of the day, when these people stopped giving us chicken change, we were going to disappear or evaporate in thin air. But we are grateful that we are here. Fellow Liberians, we want to say to you, do us a favor. And that favor we require of you is to kindly hit for us the share button. Invite friends, invite family members, so that we can all have a very wonderful time. Let me just begin by welcoming some of our people, and I will bring our brain behind the redemption hour on the stage. I want to use this time to welcome each and every one of you whose name We might not be seeing because of limitation, and we don't have all the platforms open right now. But for those of you who are watching us on the YouTube channel, we want to say you are welcome on the Redemption Hour. For those of you watching us from X, we want to say welcome on the Redemption Hour. For those of you on the Instagram, welcome on the Redemption Hour. For those of you on our personal pages, welcome on the Redemption Hour. And for those of you under the Palava Hut, we want to say thank you and welcome on the Redemption Hour. So, again, as usual, we will appeal to you to do us this favor. Hit for us the share button. Let's get ready to bring you what we are supposed to bring you. On this note, fellow Liberians, we want to now add to the stage the Honorable Randolph Masekwe Dugbayu. Comrade Dugbayu, how are you, sir?
Well, the great Chairman Prince Sharif,
Yes,
and dear
sir.
brother, we are glad to be back on stage. We are glad to do what we love doing best for the Liberian people. And I'd like to congratulate the CDC Europe
Europe.
chapter. They elected
Sure.
they retained their chairman from the UK as their chairman, and of course their election was smooth, free, fair, and transparent. That is the CDC's culture. That is the CDC's tradition. So I'd like to say hats up to the team from Europe. You know, the enthusiasm from everywhere in the world. We hoping Australia can go through theirs, and we also hoping Asia, Eastern and Western Asia can go through theirs. And gradually we're getting there. And 2029 is going to be a very super show. We are gearing up to win the election to the extent that nobody will behave like what is happening in Tanzania and other countries around, because our momentum is a different kind of momentum. Our scenario is different kind of scenario. And so we are here today, you know, on the redemption hour where we decipher the lies, we unclothe their dishonesty and name and shame them for bad governance, corruption, maize rule, the raping of our justice system, the colossal stealing and mass looting of the state resources by Mr. Joseph BOAKAI and his group of plutocrats. So, Mr. Prince Sharif, I'm glad to be here today, and I can't wait to get the show started. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dugbayu. I want us to just use maybe about 1 or 2 minutes to talk about this. Over the period, we are seeing seditions. I mean, all over the world. I remember doing the groundbreaking ceremony. It was like the program was being held in Europe. It was like the program was being held in the United States. It was like the program was being held all over. We saw the enthusiasm from seditions, from patriotic Liberians from all over the world. What does this mean for the CDC going towards 2029? Looking at, what is happening now, Europe had their own, convention that they've elected, a favor El Morris and all over. In the US here, as we prepare for our own national convention, we are having local, conventions and etc. What does this mean for the CDC being in opposition? What does this mean for us as an institution, sir?
What that means is that our base is still informed, our base is intact, we remain enthusiastic. It suggests that the number you got, the less than 1% you were defeated with, it suggests that that number still remain constant. And then, fortunately, looking at your voting history, your voting tradition, your voting pattern and trend, you always have absolute advantage when it comes to first-time voter. Now, what you see happening, if your base from 2023 is constant, if your base from 2023 is still enthusiastic and very energetic to vote in 2029, it suggests you win a landslide in 2029, because those that voted you will still remain constant. Nobody is being managed. Nobody is leaving from there. Nobody is going. Because that number that can fluctuate, the number that can leave you, the number that can be de-energized, the number that can be inconsistent is the number that always defeating you. So to see your number coming out in such magnitude. And to see other number from other places, because that crowd you saw in Monrovia was not just CDC, was some independent who feared Joseph Boakai because of his age. He could have done better. That crowd you saw were some of those marketeers, done what are those young boys who got the beautiful message of lives and rescue campaign messages. The thought things would have been better because Joseph Boakai was presumed to be old, and as an older man, it is believed that you will come with wisdom. Instead, he comes with extreme vindictive mindset, lack of real agenda to make change. And so what you saw happening is a validation of the fact that CDC base is constant, not just constant. The constant characteristic of CDC base suggests that the only battle CDC has in 2029 is the first time voter. And of course, history and precedent has said that we have done extremely well with first time voters. So what you see happening around, it puts you at an absolute advantage. It gives you an absolute advantage. And it just tells you that if Liberians are happy in Monrovia for CDC return, they're happy in Europe, they're happy in America. So that just everywhere in Liberia, that is the new mindset, that is the enthusiasm of the Liberian people. And that's a positive signal for the CDC.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dogba. To just add my take to this, fellow Liberians, all of us know the very, very pivotal role that Liberians in the diaspora play to our economy, on their own family, and on the decisions that are made in Liberia. You cannot divulge our own economic power from what is happening in Liberia. In fact, as you may be aware, Liberians that are in the diaspora contribute meaningfully towards even the budget with their remittance and to ensure that the economy is in a very good state. Now, these people in the diaspora, they also play a very significant role when it comes to what is happening on the ground. So with the energy that we are seeing, with the euphoria that we are seeing, with the zest that we are seeing, fellow Liberian, this is a positive sign for the party. It's a positive sign for the party. It's a positive sign because over the period, what actually drive the people towards the politics of Liberia, if you can remember, His Excellency President Dr. George Manning Weah advanced a bill, and this bill of dual citizenship. For a very long time, many Liberians that were in the diaspora, because of their own, citizenship that they hold to the country of their refuge or of their choice, some of them, they could not openly participate or, to come up to say, look, we are getting involved in the politics of our country because of fear that, X, Y, Z, and Z. But when they bill to ensure dual citizenship is giving to all Liberian. Once a Liberian, always a Liberian. Whether when you go Nepal or whatever and take a citizenship, you can stay participate actively. I think that particular introduction of the bill that was at the time politicized by the members of the opposition bloc, it gives hope to most Liberians. And today, what we are seeing is that particular hope that was rekindled by His Excellency President Dr. George Manning Weah in that dual citizenship, which later on was later passed, So again, we want to say all credit to His Excellency President Dr. George Manning Weah for that particular bill that was introduced, which it was politicized, but at the end of the day, it found its way through. That today people can sit on a platform and say, look, I am, an American, I am, a France citizen, etc., etc., but I am actively participating in my Liberian politics. So we want to say thanks to the CDC government, thanks to His Excellency President Dr. George Manning Weah. And this gone election in 2023, maybe some of you did not take notice of it. But do you know we had a very high, number of diasporan Liberians going back home and participating in the body politics? Maybe some of you don't know that. And we also want to say thanks to His Excellency. When he launched the bicentennial program of Liberia, that particular program brought together Liberians. In fact, that particular program really opened up Liberia to be attracted, to be very, very attractive to our brothers in the diaspora. We all know the Bicentennial program where, His Excellency launched. We saw many Liberians, going to Liberia, getting involved, where we even saw some top-notch Liberian celebrity like Marco Blackson, he went to Liberia, and there were so many other, Liberian celebrities and people who are connected to Liberia, going to Liberia to feed that particular vibe. So again, we want to say thanks to His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah, and want to say thanks to Liberians in the diaspora, especially seditions, that have taken over the diaspora. I can tell you that if today election was held, in the diaspora, there is no way that you can be able to compare, you know, any other political party with that of the CDC, because the CDC is well structured in the diaspora, has its bases, all over the place. And we are basically all over. And what is happening, we believe that is going to have a trickle down effect on 2029, because Liberians, especially most of our people, now getting to understand the politics of Liberia and looking at the deception of this particular government led by this incompetent old man, Joseph Numa Boeka, who is a pathological liar. I think Liberians are now getting to see that from all indication, President, His Excellency, Dr. George Manneh Weah is the hope for a better future of the Liberian people. So again, I want to say welcome to all of you. Join us. Let's have a wonderful time as we go through this discussion. Thank you so very kindly. So you can hit for us the share button. You can share with friends, share with family members, and we're going to have a very, very wonderful time here. So I want to start from somebody say, let's start from the low hanging fruit. That has to do with Mr. Joseph Numa Boeka on, presence in France. My people, for those of you that do not know, France had a very big program called the Paris Peace Forum. In that particular Paris Peace Forum, there were others, leaders that were invited from Africa, etc., etc. And I want to take one country to talk about it. That is Ghana. Ghana was part of that particular Paris Peace Conference. And that particular Paris Peace Conference, they were looking at so many things. But what is interesting in that particular forum, that Paris Peace Forum, was that Ghana was able to walk away with so many things. One, Ghana was able to walk away with a tangible result that today, fellow Liberians, the Ghanaian Marine, or we say, their own, how you call, or army, will now be given an opportunity to go to France, and they will participate in a training that will build the capacity of the military, to be specific, the Coast Guard of Ghana. Not only that, the Ghanaian government will be working along with the France government, and fellow Liberian, it will surprise you to note that there are going to be nothing less than 2,000 Ghanaian youth that are going to benefit from what we call advanced SABOR training. Advanced SABOR training. I'm talking about Ghana. I want to go far play, because most of us, we run to Ghana, we go to Ghana on vacation, blah, 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 and stuff like that. So that is what Ghana is going to be benefiting from this particular Paris Peace Forum. Not only that, what they are also going to be benefiting is a kind of, stronger tie and relationship in what we call in agro business. Ghanaians will have the opportunity to be able to export their goods to France. They can take cloth, they kenke, and etc., etc. Their best, just name it. Now they will have the opportunity, not going through all of the screens, to be able to, take their businesses from Ghana and send it to France to go and sell. France also will be able to. So there is this particular trade that is about to now be very, very robust and be very, very, very lucrative for the both country. And also, as we speak now, there are France investors that are carrying on fellow Liberian. Somebody will say they're doing survey now in Ghana. As I speak to you now, go on the Ghana website. They are carrying on this survey. France investors are there to be able to look at the sectors that they can be able to invest in. These are just some of the results that they got from the Paris Peace Forum. But unfortunately, nobody from Liberia attended that particular Paris Peace Forum. When you go on our own executive mansion website, we are yet to see a single communication from that Paris Peace Forum. But we saw on the website that Joseph Numa BOAKAI was invited by the president of France. Honorable Dobayu, I want to ask you this question, sir. How did Liberians or Liberia benefit from the BOAKAI trip to France? Hello? Okay, so while Honorable Dobayu is taking care of some other issues, I want to ask you, fellow Liberians. I want to put this before you. What are the benefits that we receive from Mr. BOAKAI traveling to France? What are those benefits?
Are you getting me, Prince?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, I'm getting you now. Yeah, I wasn't
I was
getting you
hearing you.
first.
Oh, no, I was hearing you.
Oh, okay, sir. So,
I was saying,
yes, sir.
I was saying Liberia got lot of benefit. Liberia got. And I'll be clear with you, yo. The first and foremost benefit that Liberia as a country got, even more than Ghana, is one. Our president, our almost 90 years old president, had the additional opportunity and privilege to charter a private jet. And then it is an advantage for Liberia because it increases the experience of Joe BOAKAI in flying private jet that he once criticized. That's one major achievement that Liberia got from that trip to Paris. Another major achievement was, an entourage that is so huge. I saw almost all of the top ministers of government in Paris, and I saw them doing huge Photoshop, taking a lot of photo, and those photos were all floating on their social media pages. At least our government, talks of our government, now have the opportunity to go France and meet their friends, their colleagues, to go and have beautiful cuisine, go to the Eiffel Tower and take photos. These are things that were not happening in Liberia before. So now, our government, has achieved on that. Not just that, our government has now have the opportunity for their ministers to shop in at Louis Vuitton stores in Paris. Paris is a home of luxury and it's a home of beautiful things, the best restaurants. Most of these designer clothes, Gucci, and all of these extravagance. Our leaders now have the opportunity to interact and see where these things are produced and where they come from firsthand. And a huge responsibility has been placed on our revenue screen, on our fiscal envelope. These are all benefits for Liberia. Liberia did not have to come back with agroecological involvement or climate smart agriculture. No, Liberia doesn't need that. What Liberia needs is to travel with huge interact, like Mr. BOAKAI did, because these are things that were not happening in Liberia before. So that's why they are here to rescue. So that's rescue. That's rescue, I must admit. BOAKAI is rescuing the country. So I got to appreciate Mr. BOAKAI for his rescue agenda, for ensuring that at least, more than 30 person, fly with him. What they went there for, only God one knows. They took photos. These are achievements, and you cannot honor red. You cannot honor You can be the prince. I would disagree with you to say nothing was achieved. Mr. Boga has achieved a lot, and Liberia has progressed. Everything is happening. Everything is okay right now in Liberia. I can tell you, people eating 3 square meals. Teachers' salary have increased, and that trip has made nurses who say you harmonize my salary, I will harmonize your vote. Everything is on course. I think the exit of George Weah has exposed George Weah himself, and I think Mr. Boga is on the red track. Let him keep traveling with a extravagant trip. So these are the achievements Liberians got from that trip, Mr. Prince Sharif.
Thank you, Honorable Dobayo. I know, the statement coming from you to some extent, maybe, is a kind of sarcasm, on them. But here is it, fellow Liberians, that I want you to see. I am currently on the Executive Mansion website and displaying this particular photo. The last time when His Excellency President Dr. George Manuel Weah traveled to France or had the opportunity to visit France, we saw something very unique happening. Very unique happening. His Excellency President Dr. George Manuel Weah was able to meet with the president. Not only that, was able to meet with investors. We saw a program that was being held where His Excellency President Dr. George Manuel Weah was able to inform his French counterpart, other investors, about the prospect of investing in Liberia. He was also able to make the case that there is a need, that from all indication, that France look at Liberia as a place where they can trust and also invest in that particular country. Based on that, we saw a $10 million that was given to Liberia through the initiative of His Excellency President Dr. George Manuel Weah. Unlike the BOAKAI trip that today we are faced with, and I'm going to show you this for you to see. I don't want you to believe it. BOAKAI is in France, not meeting with investors, not meeting with people who has the potential to be able to bring job to our country, not people who has the potential to be able to create employment, thereby reducing unemployment. But as usual, Mr. BOAKAI is seen there in France, meeting with few members of the Unity Party or of some Liberians, sitting down, and he giving lecture to them. This old man has become an excess baggage and a useless baggage for us as Liberians. The place that other people will go and succeed, the place that other people will go and be able to get the relevant help, BOAKAI will always go there and come with nothing but leave with disgrace. These are Liberians that you are looking at. BOAKAI is not meeting with investors. It is not a meeting of Mr. BOAKAI and his people projecting the image of our country so that investors can be attracted, to Liberia. No, it's not. But he went there and gathered Liberians because he too wants to be in the picture. He wants to create this particular, one would say, create this particular image that yes, I myself, people too can't see me. I am loved by my people. I am loved by my people. And fellow Liberians, you know how much dollars that was spent to organize this particular program? You know how much was spent? Here we are. Look at the picture. I don't want you to believe what I'm saying. Look at Joseph Newman BOAKAI here. You see here? Look here. Look at this picture.
This is embarrassing. It's
Mr. went
embarrassing.
on a kind of I know picture gallery or so. He went there to go and take picture.
But that's what I
That's what
said, Prince. So why would you discredit Mr. BOAKAI? You know, Prince, we on this show, what is our objective on this show? Our objective is to educate, inform, and entertain the Liberian people. We have our defined objective. So Mr. BOAKAI's objective has been achieved. So why would you not characterize that as success? In my mind, that's a success because that was his objective.
wow. But Honorable Randall, the thing I can understand is that as I speak to you, our hospital, I mean, the major referral hospital in Liberia, JFK, is without even how you call an oxygen tank. Even to get ambulance, 24 hours ambulance that is operational at JFK is not there. But you have Mr. BOAKAI chartering plane, going to these conferences that are yielding no results, coming back, writing a whole lot of trash on the executive mansion website about MOU and etc. etc. This has a very, 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 very how you call a trickle down effect, negative one too, on the ordinary Liberians. Each time this particular man travel, it's not just because he wants to travel, but he travel with money. And the people that he carries along with him, these people are entitled to their DSA, etc., etc. And those money that are used on these travels, they can be something that you and I can benefit from. Look, for example, the University of Liberia. Look at how deplorable that place is. Just under the space of just 2 years, they have basically abandoned the university. The progress that we saw, the steady progress under His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah to transform that particular place, 2 years BOAKAI took over, they abandoned that entire place. That place is abandoned. Look at JFK. Look at other hospitals around. To the extent, quite recently, we read a report, we saw the report from the GAC, where the GAC told us that there are so many agencies, there are so many ministries, there are so many other people that did not even, other agencies of government, other, subsidy receiving institutions of government that did not even receive the budgetary allocation that was allocated in the budget for them. And amongst those institutions that did not receive their adequate budgetary support are the hospitals that's supposed to affect the common people. But here we are. BOAKAI is not falling short on his trips. BOAKAI is not canceling no trip. Money or no money. Doctor Tepe or doctor not Tepe. People are dying from hunger or not dying from hunger. BOAKAI is making his trips. BOAKAI is going on his picture gallery. This is sad, Honorable Dobayu. And I think from all indication,
Very, very sad.
Liberia
Very,
is
very, very,
retrogressing.
very sad. Very, very sad. Very, very sad.
Wow. To see
Very,
an
very
old
sad.
president of his age, the man who lied that he has connection. Joseph Newman BOAKAI is on record of saying that he has connection, he has friends that can make things to happen. All of the trips that this man have made, fellow Liberians, let's be fair and sincere to each other. What are the dividends that we can see of those trips? What are the dividends? We are talking about spending raw Liberian people cash in millions. Now the one we're talking about, so my people, while our hospitals are closed, while our children are on the streets trying to help their parents who have been downsized by this particular government. Children are now forced to contribute towards the home budget. Children, literally children, at the age of 7, 8, 9, they are now on the street selling. When BOAKAI told you and myself, our children will not be on the street. But today, look at what is happening.
But being on the street, my dear brother, children are being raped by ministers of government. Nothing is happening. Those ministers are shielded. Right now, the children already were in a deplorable state. Those children already were in a vulnerable and susceptible state. They were in a state of absolute and acute destitution. Already, their condition is terribly deplorable. That is an existing social factor, an existing social catastrophe that they are confronted with. To add insult to injury, they already in that state of extremism in terms of poverty. You are raping them. Not just that, their perpetrator going scot-free. You are raping them, and nothing is being done. They've been raped, and the rape laws have been covered only to protect the few elite. Beyond the fact that Joe BOAKAI and his government is distributing absolute chronic and deplorable poverty, his government officials are passing everywhere and they are raping, aggressively raping people for no reason. Whether it is for ritualistic purpose, we do not know. That is to what extent things have become extremely deplorable, my dear brother. So, Mr. BOAKAI doesn't care about all of these social vices. Mr. BOAKAI doesn't care about all of these issues confronting our society. What he cares about is to go to France and take picture. That's what I said. His objective has been achieved. And that is my point, my dear brother. As ridiculous as it sounds, that is the reality of the day. And it's a sad reality. We have to accept it as a new normal, my dear brother.
Wow. This is really, really indeed a sad reality, at the detriment of the Liberian people. This is indeed a very sad reality. To see in this day, age, and time, a government that should be far-sighted, a government that should be looking for a way to save money in order to make sure that the people are catered to, or the people have at least bread on their table, if not even a cup of rice, but bread on their table. But this particular government is in the business of spending the Liberian people resources as if we are having it in abundance. All of the trips that these people are making, one result we've not been able to achieve as a people. This is sad, fellow Liberians. And this is one of the reasons why you people, we should wake up. This is why we should wake up. This is why we continue to say that Mr. BOAKAI is not an option for a better Liberia. That this government is not an option for a better Liberia. Look at how they are proceeding. Look at how they are proceeding. The last time they were here, right in the USA, they came for this business summit, or business whatever it was, in Texas. Sierra Leone, Mandabio, he came for the same program, walk away with some $400 million plus, along with some other investors to Sierra Leone. While Liberia, you had nothing. Absolutely nothing. All of the conferences that Mr. BOAKAI have attended, people go there and they come with results. They come with tangible. But BOAKAI goes there and comes with nothing. Honorable Dobayu, in order for us to be able to round this up and go out to the next talking point, what you think is the issue here? That BOAKAI continue to be a disappointment in areas, in places, in conferences that others will be able to attract, good news from. When we go there, it is nothing for us. What do you think is really the problem? What do you think is the problem?
The problem is exactly what you love about me. When I tell you, Craig can donate blood, the man only gives what he has. Mr. BOAKAI has no vision. Now you're expecting him to give vision. That's disservice to Mr. BOAKAI. Craig doesn't donate blood. Craig always give what it has. So when you somewhere and your blood feeling, they say you come and die, and Craig is your neighbor, just know you will die because it doesn't have blood. It's not like me, but it doesn't have blood. It will not give you blood because it doesn't have it. Mr. BOAKAI does not have the intuition. He does not have that internationalistic spirit. His agenda is upside down. His desire for Liberia is far from reality. He wants a Liberia of pleasure, a Liberia where he goes on deja vu. His children go on a yacht and bring Jamaican and Venezuela girls, to come and phone and marry make, to marry make. So that is who he is. So my dear brother, Mr. BOAKAI is Mr. BOAKAI. That is what he wants to do. That is what he wants to do. That is what he wants to achieve. That is his definition for Liberia. He got no agenda whatsoever. And that is it's a sad reality, my dear brother. It's a sad reality. And we have to live with this. Mr. BOAKAI's desire for our country. See his surrounding. See his deputy minister. See how she dresses. See how she composes herself. See her comportment or public appearances. See how it's it. That is what Mr. BOAKAI wants for Liberia. He got nothing serious to offer. For Mr. BOAKAI, that is a retirement job for him. You know, and he's so happy, bro. He's so happy, you know, that he has a retirement job, a job, you know, that it just came as a result of democratic benevolence from George Weah. I call that democratic benevolence because in a margin of error, a margin of nano or mono error, President Weah accepted the result because he saw desperation in BOAKAI's face, and he doesn't want blood to be shed. What is happening in Tanzania, what has happened in Uganda, what has happened in Cameroon and other places around the West Africa and Africa as a whole. So Mr. BOAKAI is a benefactor or a beneficiary of political benevolence. And so he cared less. You know, he didn't, they say to where your heart is, there is a treasure also. Mr. BOAKAI, he had no treasure here, but he had just arrived here. He made no real investment. He did not merit where he has arrived. So for him, he doesn't care. He cares less. That is the sad reality we have to live with. In the end, Craig cannot donate blood. You don't expect Kasauli to keep goat. Giving Kasauli the goat to keep it, it's like a Swisser. You know, you have to blame yourself. Kasauli cannot be kept by a goat. It will chew all. You can give banana to market to keep it. You waste your time. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dogwayu, and I like the way you conclude on this. Absolutely, under no condition you can be able to give a cassava leaf, to a goat to be able to keep. Even if that goat stomach is filled, it will still chew it and keep it in some compartment of
And
the
destroy it.
mouth. Yeah,
It
and
will
destroy
destroy
it.
it.
Yeah, that's why we do. And Bweka told us this, and Bweka told us this. All that you are saying was rightly, said by Mr. Bweka. When we asked Mr. Boyka relative to all of the support that they received at the time he was vice president and president of the Liberian Senate, this man told us that they squandered the opportunity. You just remind me, Jana, when he said, look, even if the bitter goat stomach is filled, it will stay spoiled, it will just damage it, just so that it can. And now what happened? Imagine at the time we had all of the support and all of the money coming down, everybody was focused on Liberia. At the end of the day, when we asked Mr. Boyka for a report of what he was able to achieve, this old man was able to look in the faces of the Liberian people in the war and said, we squandered the opportunity, that he was a pack car. According to what he said he was a pack car. This is not from
You
us.
say he was a pack racing car.
Race
a racing car. Yeah.
Wow. Imagine. And this was the same man that told us. And today, look at what is happening. So now that he is on the track, why is it that 2 years? My people, you say you look into this.
The transport. You know, the transport. Many engineers can repair the track. The transport. Don't bring the old man the transport.
Fellow Liberian, this is in no way, to mock at your situation, but sometimes it's just so funny. We got to add some level of humor into what we do, because it's serious. It's very serious.
The transport. The don't track mechanic. He can fit track.
They try transport because they're not taking car, they're not carry to France, and I'm working. They take it and bring it here to the US, where other countries can car and their own car can start working right away. Nothing. Oh.
The transport, man. The transport, my friend. Yeah. Prince, you gotta be considerate too, man. Prince, you gotta be considerate, man. Now, the transport, what old man do? Man said that in old folks who enjoy it, say he didn't make a mess of what he said.
Transport at the detriment of the ordinary people.
I mean, just Olivier go ahead. Olivier go ahead. Olivier go.
The situation of Liberia now is left with God. Because it's serious. Because I can remember the last time, even the finance minister was telling us now to pray. It reached to the place now.
The man are pray about economy. The man say we pray, we fasting and pray. But BOAKAI say you can remember in the month of what it was January, February, April, May, June, July, August. I think either August. At the time we have fast and prayer day around the corner. They may still went and declare there was a Wednesday and declare fast and prayer in the middle of nowhere Monday. He declared a Monday, and 2 weeks later there was fast and prayer. So we have a prayer being economists leading our country. We have a president who say we go, we pray.
All right. So this.
Yeah, after fast and praying, the minister of state. Yeah, we leave it go.
Yeah, fellow Liberian, this is serious. But again, it is what it is. Fellow Liberians, just get ready today. We're going to take some of your calls. We're going to read some of your comments, on the show here as advised, by some of our people. We are definitely going to do that. But Honorable Dobayu, there is this particular very serious issue that is really, really, really of concern. We've been hearing about this particular Oriental oil deal. We've been hearing about it. Now, from all indication, it has now hit home. From what we have gathered, that the government of Liberia have signed a production sharing contract with the Oriental company, giving them the opportunity to explore, 5 different blocks. That is block 15, block 16, block 22, and block 24. And this package, from what we are hearing, is supposed to include or supposed to have a $12 million signature bonus attached to it. And not only that, but from what we are gathering, is that this particular deal that is signed by the Liberian government, Liberians are supposed to be giving 5% in this particular deal. We as a people, we are supposed to be getting 5%. I mean, 5% supposed to be allocated for Liberians, who wants to invest, who want to buy share, etc., etc. But again, from what we are hearing, even this 5% is not even going to be given to Liberian. The government is going to have an exclusive right on it, and they are going to keep it. They are going to determine what they will do with it, and etc., etc. Now, we are hearing all kinds of things about this particular oil deal. How, in fact, this particular company that we are talking about is engaged in the issue of flipping blocks. That is, they do not have the money. They do not have the capacity to be able to operate or to be able to carry on any serious, explosion on these areas, or to be able to carry on any serious investment in those areas. But they will just get it, go and look for people. Maybe they will come and buy it, for example, maybe somewhere around, maybe let's say about 50 million or whatever it is. And at the end of the day, they go and look for people and come and say, my man, give us 200 or 300 million dollars, collect their money, wipe their butt, and off they go. Honorable Dobayu, what in this deal for the Liberian people? Because we are hearing so many things. Can you just take us through this particular Oriental oil deal that we're talking about, that some of our people are not even aware, that lawmakers are not even going back to their constituents to be able to clearly explain to their constituents that how you call the NOCAL is not even holding how you call a Palava Hot forum to be able to explain to the Liberian people what is in it for us. Can you tell us what is happening with this particular deal, sir?
So what is happening with that particular deal is the reincarnation of the El Nito deal, right? So let me tell you, every time Unity Party is in power, all they do is to just, all they do is to deplete Liberia's cover. All they do is to make fun. All they do is to mortgage our resources. All they do is to make Liberian people believe that they are crazy. All they do is to just enrich themselves. So what is happening at this moment, my dear brother? Let me remind you about the El Nito deal. The El Nito deal, it was a deal of the Western cluster that was somewhere in 2010, 2011. The El Nito deal was when I started having relationship with Ome Samuel Jackson. That time it was me, Michael Tippison, Joey Emma Hensful, and this guy called Vanny. There's one Vanny. He used to work with the house right now, I think in Arizona or Philadelphia.
Yeah,
One guy called Vanny.
Vanisaki.
No, not Vanisaki.
Oh, okay.
Vanisaki is Iowa. He's called. He used to be with the house. We can call each other Yompo, but his name is Vanny. He's now in he was in Philadelphia, but I think he went Arizona. At the time, we had our civil society institution called the Movement to Protect Liberia Hydrocarbon Sector. The essence of that movement was because of this very Unity Party. In 2000 and I think 11 that time, El Nito, do you usually read about El Nito? It was formed after Manasseh Leaf. Ellen, her name was Ellen, and it was formed after her called El Nito. It was a St. Oriental group. The St. Oriental group, the 419 oil bidding scenarios. What they can do, like you said, brilliantly, they can do CEPE. Can you imagine what country resources we do with CEPE? What the men will do, all they do, what go eat and worry. They will go and negotiate oil blacks. They go and take oil black. They give people brown with the envelope, corrupt the whole process, get the money. They don't have the actual finances. So there's, for instance, to kind of do exploration. Maybe they deposit X amount of money, maybe in a tune of maybe 25 million. They will go and get a company that will give them 100 million to come and do that particular work. The deal is off. They're done. They go and resell, renegotiate at your detriment. So 2011, at the time at the Nito deal when it came up, first of all, the requirement, the requirement for any company to have won that bay, they say you must have operated minimum of 10 years and you must have I think 5 either 5 million metric ton of iron ore, and you must have proven record of deliverable in various countries around. That was the requirement. They say you must have been in existence for at least 10 years. Guess what? Wow. Are you following me? Yeah. Now,
we are here.
El Nito, the company, through the very same Oriental that have reincarnated, was formed 11 days after the bid was published. 11 days after the bid, I say, before you get this contract, you must have been in existence for 10 years. A company that was formed 11 days by the very people who published those requirements, because the very group who were engaged at the time, Nuka was, I think it was presided over by one Christopher Neon or so. At the time, Nuka was still in the backstage. It hasn't come to the front glare yet. It was those negotiations in fact that now brought Broward City because of the prospect of Nuka. At the time, Nuka at that time predominantly, most of its function used to be on Ministry of Mines and Energy. It was how the Christopher Neon and other guys were leading in the sector. So fast forward, Unity Party is noted for mortgaging, for bringing in BMs, 419ers, criminals, to make them preside over our resources. Gave them a contract, gave them concession that they do not have the technical and financial capability to deliver on. So El Nito got the contract when they sold it. In fact, El Nito, it almost like the scenario of Liberia and Germany when Liberia declared war on Germany. When Liberia declared war on Germany, that history, during the presidency, I think, of President either D. Howard or so, President Howard or Barclay, but I think it's Howard. During that time, when the Liberia biggest trading partner in Hero was Germany. At the time, Germany, it was how they came. We have good relationship with them, but because of the air fatal loan of 1871, Liberia was owing. And at the time, America now agreed to pay Liberia debt and say Germany is our enemy, so declare war on him. So Liberia, Liberia declared war verbally. After Liberia declared war, it was when she went to start training her army forces. I had the EFF, the Frontier Force, Liberia Frontier Force. That's how it was formed. So the same day Liberia training her army was the same day war in it. So in history, yeah, when Yellow Rod declared war on Germany,
No.
so the same day was the same day with the war. And so it's the case of this El Nido deal. They went without the financial and technical capability. They say we want this. After they finish getting in and how to go negotiate for all the skills that was supposed to be the requirement, that had to go negotiate and resell. So it's the same case of this Oriental. According to the 2019 Petroleum Law Section 36A, Liberians are entitled to receive 5% of each block, while Noka receive 10%. Now, this particular Oriental agreement now will give 15%. You know, I mean, Noka now, which is the entity, which is the referee and the player now, will now get 15% instead of it being proportional. Liberia own 5%, and Liberians 5%, and Noka 10%. Now they're blending everything, giving them to Noka because those presidents want Noka now. They are criminals. They are in Boakai's cabinet, you know, his kitchen cabinet. So now the most ridiculous thing about that is that after 180 days, when this company start operating, when they found oil, right, and Noka doesn't say anything, and nothing else happened, right? The guys will pay them again enough money. Will pay them enough money. And also, this very group, the same about El Nido, there is a specific requirement in terms of how long you have to be in existence. Now, this particular agreement is going to give it's going to say the 2016 Petroleum Law paragraph 21.1 state that the petroleum agreement shall be valid for maximum of 7 years. This particular agreement now that that Oriental is about to take is 10 years. Where the additional 3 years coming from? So the argument I'm pushing here is the Unity Party government always is in the habit. It always is in the habit of disobeying our laws. It's in the habit of mortgaging our resources. It's in the habit of always selling Liberia. So in the end, my brother, Craig cannot do the blood. In the end, you can get Kasali to go to keep it. No, banana job can be a story for market. BOAKAI is the banana giving our country to keep it. What else do you expect? He will mortgage it. He knows how to squander. He's a squanderer in chief. So wait a second, man. We harm him, Mr. BOAKAI here. Everything Mr. BOAKAI is doing, we predated. He told all who he was. We know it and give our country to him. What else do you expect, Mr. Prince Sharif?
You know, thank you so much, Honorable Dowayu. You know, this is scary. This is really scary. Like you remind us of the El Nido deal, where our resources was given to a company that was just formed just in the night.
11
Somebody
days, yeah.
run to another person and say, "My man, I beg you, give me some kind of lay $5 million. You give me some
Very
kind of
good.
lay 1 million. You give me some kind of lay 2 million. You give me this." This company literally just went about, collected money because Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf knew that this was another means to be able to exploit the Liberian people and make millions off of them. They just put it together quick and say, "Look, let take money from the person, take money from that person." And at the end of the day, a very lucrative resources block was given to El Nido. Guess what they did, my people? They went and go look for another buyer. They
Yeah,
went and go look
Sepe.
for another buyer. It almost like the thing where they gave it to them, or they sell it to them for maybe, let's just say, $1 million. After giving it to them, knowing very well the value of that particular resources, know that very well that, look, that money was small, but they did it in order for them to go and look for buyer and make millions of it. After El Nido came and gave us chicken chin as Liberians, guess what happened? They went to go look for buyer that gave them good millions of dollars. And immediately that money laying in their hand, it was a let's go. They were gone. They were out of the place. The whole El Nido Bene, it just finished from Liberia because the guys, they already received what they wanted. And from all indication, from what the experts are saying, it is just what is happening with this same Oriental oil deal. The first thing is that this thing, the information surrounding this whole thing is fishy. It's very fishy. Because from what we are gathering, initially we heard that there was this 10 million signature bonus that was attached to this particular deal. From what we are gathering, No more $10 million now. Somebody say, no, not 10 million, that $1.2 million. For 10 million, according to them, it's now $1.2 million. Where are we? Now, with the information, my people, you and I know very well, not many of us will be able to understand or even read extensively the documents that are attached to these things. So, our lawmakers and people at NOCA, I am very sure the Act of NOCA talks about public education and awareness. I am very sure that is within that particular act. Public education and awareness. So, how many of you Liberians, you are even aware of this and know how we as a people, we are supposed to benefit? How many of us are aware of this? How many of us know what is going to be our own dividends? What are going to come to us that we're going to use to build our hospitals, to build our road, even if we use that to build our road, or they will even give it to us? How many of us are aware? Look, the Unity Party is noted for putting Liberia at the disadvantaged end for their own pleasure, their own glory, and their own pockets. This is not something that is strange. This is not something that is strange. This particular deal, from all indication that we are getting, the demerits are too many. There are too many. There are too many. Now, what happened to the citizen 5%? What happened to it? So how will that particular 5%, how will Liberians benefit? How will Liberian businesses benefit from it? Or Liberian investors? Knowing very well that this government has a very, very evil mind to deny Liberian businesses. Look at there, imagine. Just Liberian businesses. Look at what is happening to them. This government is denying Liberian owned businesses of even going to buy yellow machine. And the last
Yeah.
time you and I were reading here where a
Mhm.
Liberian business was denied, it's in the paper. A Liberian business that has all of the qualification to be able to import these yellow machines that they're talking about, that we have not even seen up to now, from gentleman agreement to what you call to China, to my personal friend, and etc. etc. A company that also, a Liberian company that put forward a bid and said, look, my people, I meet all of the qualification. I am qualified. I have all of the experience. I have done this before. So let me get it. The BOAKAI government denied that particular Liberian company. They said, no way. We can't give it to them. They prefer to send Jeremiah Kuhn to China, make him to be how you call whether an expediter or maybe a procurement director now. They have reduced him to it, denying Liberian companies. So imagine with this particular 5%, you think Liberian will get it? A learning right in the government hand. The government become the referee, you become a player, and you become everything. So our fear is that, fellow Liberian, and you must get this. These people want to use this particular Oriental deal to save enough so that at the end of the day, they can use whatever financial means to be able to steal the election or to tamper with our election. We know what is going on here. We know what these people are capable of doing. They are capable of doing that. But we can say to BOAKAI, the Liberian people are observing you. The Liberian people are watching your every move. If you think that you can be able to use this deal to keep money and suppress us, that will be a very, very sad mistake from your end. The 5% that we're talking about, who benefit from it? Who holding the 5%? How are Liberians' own businesses supposed to benefit from it? How? This is serious, fellow Liberian. This is very serious. There is no level of transparency in this whole deal. This thing was just before we go low, we start talking about in and there before we go low in the day they post we are the finished funding company. That thing you're talking on your own. Quick, just some kind of 4G, how you call passage.
That's some kind of 5G agreement. BOAKAI self did not even respect the lawmakers in the very beginning of this thing. Man, just when the people and say, man, forget what they play. They play and we get regime speaker. Anything we send there, it will pass. Just leave it. The very beginning of the process that the lawmaker should start looking at it, carrying it out to their constituents, explaining it to their constituents, saying how best they can be able to benefit. No, the people already start chopping for
So,
them. Yes, sir.
so
Yes, sir.
so for the sake of our audience, let me just break down everything we have explained here. Right? So the merits and the demerits. I know this was done and compiled by one of our researchers, like in the chat room.
Sure.
The law and structure, which is the baseline of everything. Liberia's 2019 petroleum law amendments require that at least 5% equity for company owned by Liberian citizens in each petroleum agreement session, that is section 36, in addition to local content provision. It does also explain how much citizen participation is to be managed and targeted to vulnerable groups, because they know, Liberian businesses are weak, they may not have the financial capability. So they want to start the game with an advantage for Liberian. It's almost like those of you living in the DMV area, New York, and other places, when you get in the taxi, because of Uber, because of other, share ride, the taxis don't have more passenger. So the taxi is much more expensive.
Sure.
It got a meter system. As soon as you sit in the car, they already starting with fire out because you know that one?
Yeah.
As soon as you start, they say you already starting with fire.
If you want to go for that thing business. As soon as you get in the car, fire right away.
So that's how you want to see this deal. Liberians, they want to start with some sort of advantage. There are other provision where everybody can do open bidding, but the probability that Liberian will get it will be less. So there are absolute, protection for Liberian businesses. So that was what was just explained. Now, what's on the table right now? What this rescue government has brought right now? The government has signed a petroleum or production sharing contract, PCS, with Alas or Oriental for offshore block LB15, LB16, LB22, and 24. So the whole basin is around the Maryland Harper Basin. For those who are in the southeast, this is a southeastern basin. Southeast, where you found more sedition, more people who do not even vote for BOAKAI. That is where this resources is deposited. That's the first thing I want to say. So it's in a whole Maryland basin, Harper Basin, connecting towards Arico, because Arico already they're doing drilling. Arico doing drilling. So the Prosper Alona corridor is very, 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 very huge. So the package in this reportedly includes 12 million alongside a total energy package for legislative ratification. That Front Page Africa published the one. Quoting from the Africa now. At this stage, senior lawmakers to include Musa Bedete, Kofa, they have warned their colleagues to reject this deal. On what basis should they reject it? They are certain that Oriental past flipping of blocks, transparency has raised transparency concern and questions alarms based on the references we get El Niño issue, and in all the other countries they've been to, they've never been successful in doing any other thing. There's a map of countries that they have gotten in business with and how they initiated for one in those countries. So in these circumstances, it's just so good to send your technicians and policymakers on a soft approach to say, okay, this company operated here before. What did they do? How did they do it? What were their business portfolio and profile? Can you grade in A, B, C, or D? A responsible government, that's what they would do. Prince, are you getting the argument here?
Sure,
in
definitely.
This case, our government did not do that. So they has questioned their business profile and their capability, technical and financial capability in being able to handle this. Now, our government is rushing to do this because when you do this, there's a 10 million bonus, 10 million instant bonus, that will come. So why our government rushing to do all of these things? Because there's 10 million hanging bonus. The government hungry for money. They have not been innovative. They don't know where to get money from. Revenue not coming. The few that coming, BOAKAI using it for surgery, using it for private jet. He and wife, they sharpening on shame. So now, the marriage today's, we don't want to talk about marriage because there are a lot of marriage,
Sure.
the potential that there will be inflow of technology transfer or ultra deep water, because so most of the time when money is done in water, it's not on show. So the issue about conflict, you will not get people coming stealing the oil, like what happened in the Bayelsa region in Nigeria. So I mean that's positive if this is happening. Money oil offshore is expensive, but also it got some security feature attached to it. The deep merit and red flag which we are talking about now, the capacity of this company is on a serious question. The pre-qualification process was dark, it was blind, it was criminal, and it was not transparent. So the fact that these guys have a past a behavior of flip-flopping and not certifying the deal of their client country, this raises huge concern. The issue about the 5% citizen stuff you were talking about, they say citizen 5% must be additional and meaningful, not swallowed by a pool of state interest. And this is what happening right now. State interest by BOAKAI's children, by Jeremiah Kun, and by corrupt Speaker Kun. These guys have governors to ensure that the state 5% interest is swallowed. And nobody can say anything about it. The citizen equity with laws, it goes straight in the breeze. So the reported royalty structure concern for deep waters is as low as 5% and beyond certain depth, percentage commentary that was captured in From Africa. So people power frame. What we need to do now is that we're in a country where people are dying of hunger. I think we'll talk about that. We're in a country where nothing is happening, a weak business environment. BOAKAI is having a trip to Paris, nothing is happening. Then having an opportunity to make break, our government having an opportunity to resuscitate the poor economic, impoverished economic environment, instead of focusing on this to benefit the people, so that our oil wealth, like Equatorial Guinea and other countries will benefit of. They are here initiating a process that is criminal, that is dubious, that is draconian, and that does not suggest prosperity for the Liberian people. So, fellow Liberians, this is just a breakdown as to what is happening. This oil deal is wicked. You need to resist it. If you have access to your lawmaker, call your lawmaker, tell them that this is not for Liberia. Up to you, brother.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dogwayu. And to just add up a bit to what you've said, because there are some serious concern that you've just opened our eyes to. With this citizen 5% fellow Liberians who are supposed to come to us, what we as a people supposed to benefit. Do you know that you don't even need to be a millionaire to own or share in this oil deal? No, you don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need to be a lawmaker in order for you to be able to own a share. You don't need to be attached to any government in order for you to own a share. But unfortunately, with what is going on and the way this government is proceeding, Liberians, I mean, people who have the interest to invest, those of you in the diaspora who at least maybe you having some good money in your 401k, you get a lay maybe somewhere around 50,000, or you get something a lay, for the fact that you get good money, you say, well, let me take it. Even some of you who may want to say, okay, let's buy share in this particular our 5%, because the 5% is our 5%, let's buy some kind of share in it. Some of you will not even benefit, because in the mind of Joseph Numa BOAKAI and his people, you're not part of their party. They don't look at you to be somebody who sing the hallelujah song for BOAKAI. So you may not even benefit. So you see, one of the reasons why you see Liberians, we continue to experience high level of poverty is because government like the Unity Party that took over 12 years and they continue to lead, these people are not giving Liberians the opportunity to be able to invest and be able to grow. That is what is happening. And that is what definitely will happen in this entire stuff. Now, one of the issues that people are also raising, what kind of qualification they people then get? What kind of technical knowledge they people then get to be able to operate that particular oil block that we're talking about? What kind of qualification they get? What are their credential in this particular thing that, yeah, And these are the people that can be asking us, for example, government can say you get experience. When you go a plaza and say you get experience. And now what they were using, they say, oh yeah, they passed government, yeah, we are government, he brought in people when I get experience. So imagine these people who were questioning people who worked diligently and was able to make significant impact. These people brought in a company that they've not even sent people to go and investigate, a company that don't have any technical know-how, that do not have anything on the record of, relative to their own technology, the machines that they have, where they have been very successful, etc., etc. Nothing at the can. You just go look for somebody in America, let go to Liberia resources and let go exploit it. You see what is happening? And you see, my people, what is happening? Now, the issue of this particular transparent signature bonus number that we're talking about here, how will it be used? How? How will it be used? How will we benefit from it? Knowing very well BOAKAI tests for corruption and for money. They men took over. The first thing is tell him nephew Samoa to pay him money where he took from the bank. Remember now, they men say he was living on loan. So as soon as he took over, he said, my man, I beg you, please pay my loan money here. In fact, the man who used to serve his loan, that the man he took and put to central bank and say, you be there. Because you the one used to help me, and take my loan and stand for me and do the rest of the other stuff. Liberians, this is dangerous for all of us. This is not politics. This is not politics. This is not politics. Citizens must be able to benefit from their resources. Citizens must benefit. Are we benefiting? This is something that Liberians should be able to benefit from. But are we? Well, my people, we can't take all of the time because we don't have all of the time. But this is serious. This is very serious. It calls for all of us as Liberians to continue to talk about this, to continue to ask our lawmakers what is going on. But unfortunate that you have a regime speaker, somebody who believes in his mind that he's supposed to say yes, sir, to Joseph Numa BOAKAI. Anytime Joseph Numa BOAKAI holla, that they play with fire ourselves. I don't know how this, I don't know how our lawmakers will be able to explain to us. I don't know how we will be able to engage our lawmakers. Because the majority of them are noted for not even getting back to their people. The majority of them, they are noted for not getting back to their people or explaining to their people some of this deal. How will the people benefit? How will this deal have a trickle-down effect on them? How will their schools benefit? How will their schools be affected? How will their land benefit? Or how will their land be affected? So they are noted for that. But again, fellow Liberians, all we can do here is just to continue to educate you, is to play our part. And it's up to you that we all will work together in order to ensure that you hold your government accountable. Honorable W, we saw
Yes, sir.
something of recent that was very scary. The beating and the raiding of peaceful citizens in real life by the police. I saw that particular video and I was like, wow. I want to play this video. I want to play
Yeah,
it
play,
here and I want
play.
for our people to watch this. This was like, oh my people, this was too, it was too disturbing. It was too very, very disturbing. I mean, very, very, very disturbing. Yeah. Let me just bring the video here for you to see. To show down. Okay. Oh my people, you're sorry, you're sorry. Let me just play this video. Mm, sorry. Uh, too many things going on here now. Yeah, sorry, my people. Let me play this video here. Let me get this video and then play it for us here.
Sorry. Oh, my people. Yeah, it happened in red light. I put it in one of the file. Let me just locate this file. Sorry. Okay. Okay, let me go here and take it from here and see. Okay. So just, yeah. Just
So
bear with
yeah,
me.
yeah. So while you're looking for the video,
Yes, sir.
I think I can be
Okay.
giving my opinion though.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know. Have
let
you
me
seen the
just bring
video?
it. I get it. I get it right here.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So my people, this I want you to watch. Now, I will play this. I will play this. I will play this for you to see. But Honorable Dobayu, the people of Red Light, one of the most populated commercial district that we have in Mosorado County, woke up to a sad news where their stores were being break into by police and also court officers, properties taken out, left at the mercy of thief and passerby. And these people who are in that particular area in the red light belt, they've been dead for years, been using that particular area to, take care of their family, contribute also towards, our own budget. But just 2 days ago, we saw the police, along with court officers, descending, destroying their properties, beating on some of them. What is going on, Obodobayu?
What is going on is the total breakdown of the rule of law in our country. What is going on is a lack of empathy, a suspension of people's conscience. When people are hungry, when people are despair, when people are experiencing social inequality, the first line of judgment, the first line of engagement is sound governance, grounded in intuitive and rational thinking, intuitive and rational approach, an approach that geared towards meeting basic social services, not an approach that will unleash tear gas and lethal force on harmless civilians. So what is happening is a country of acute lawlessness. We saw the situation of Matthew Moba. We saw the situation in King George. We saw the situation of the student. We saw the situation of the AFL widow. We saw the situation when George Ware arrived at RIA. We've seen the situation repeated with Soup. It is a repeated pattern. The police do not care. The police doesn't care. We saw the situation when with the Muslim lady who they have gone to arrest. So it is a reoccurrence. It's a repetition. It's repetitive. It is a decent act of lawlessness. Mr. BOAKAI has legally been illegal with his doing. It is legal to be a policeman, but to handle people in that way is illegal. So their posture is legitimately illegitimate. So the legitimate illegitimacy is what I'm talking about. So Let me real for a second. Let's assume they have the legal instrument to enforce. It is the court sheriff, their procedure. Go back with the return. If the people refuse to adhere to that, there's still a room under our law. You just don't go and take the law in your hand because you have weapons, because you have guns. You go and intimidate the people and beat them. That is uncivilized. No one does that in the 21st century. That is an act of hooliganism, jungle justice, bad and mad governance. So Mr. BOAKAI has, since the inception of his government, has proven not to be a leader. He doesn't care. Red light, a hooded and densely packed commercial district. Go and look at the voting data. See how many people in real life voted for this region. That is to tell you to what extent the region doesn't care. For them, they are in power and in their squad. And malnourished thinking 6 years is what? 60 years. They don't know that 6 years is going to finish very soon. And so they are behaving the way they are behaving. More so because under that hostile atmosphere and condition, Prince Sherry, are you following? Under that condition, Mr. Prince Sherry, the guys have the opportunity to loot because they want to steal. You saw what happened to CDC headquarters. Broad daylight before camera, people were looting, stealing weed. Policemen stealing hair. I don't know your girlfriend not get hair. I don't know your girlfriend doesn't have hair. Stealing hair. So when anarchy, when lawlessness is at a peak, people use that opportunity to steal. So most of the time you see Gregory Como force because he focus on being a bluff ball, pumping a board up, cacking a board, becoming a fan ball, best dressed police director in Africa. He wants that record so desperately. So he focuses on fixing your hair, putting, yomo and other stuff in your hair to get your hair black and looking curly, like Michael Jackson. These are his focus. So he's not focusing on professional standard. The police needs to understand that the essence of professional standard and ethic in the police force is to govern your behavior outside there, how you discharge weapon, how you dispose crap, how you use tear gas, how you honor and respect the rules of engagement. These are all reasons why you have the police. The police should be a friend, not an enemy of the state, not an enemy to the people. The police cannot continuously be going against the people. This is uncivilized. And this is why we say BOAKAI, he's just BOAKAI. BOAKAI is who he is. He doesn't care. And so we empathy with the people are really, and most ridiculous that these people, most of them are Muslim people. Why are you targeting the Muslim population? Why are you targeting the Muslim population? What wrong have they done to you? And so, Mr. Prince Sherry, this is the government. It's a lawless government. We're talking. That is the government the people have elected. Thank you very much.
Fellow Liberians, seeing this particular clip, it brought tears to my eyes. And the reason is very simple. The kind of time we find ourselves in Liberia, where people who were working and earning and taking care of their family were being downsized by this government, where motorcyclists who were using the streets to earn their legal money was being stopped by this government, and etc. Even the marketeers, who most of these people, family members are depending on them to go to school, for medicals, etc., etc. For the government to be so insensitive, let's even agree, like Honorable Dogba, you were saying, that there is a court paper. But sometimes, my people, as a government, you got to be wise. You got to be sensitive. There are certain issues you step in, not because you want to disenfranchise the other party, but you look at the high level of people that will be affected, and you look at the consequences that it will have, both on the economy, on the security, etc., etc. Each of the store that you see that these people went to in that particular rail line, not less than
30 Liberians are benefiting from those stores. Because you know what can happen in Liberia, especially nowadays? These people will go to these stores that are operated by, our Mandingo brothers and others, will go to them and say, I'm begging you, please give me 2 BOAKAI, let me go and sell it. They ain't get the money, oh. They don't have the money. Let's just put it the common way so you can understand. They ain't get the money. Somebody will come and say, I'm begging you, Jalo or whoever, please give me 2 BOAKAI. And that particular 2 BOAKAI, he ain't get the money, oh. He will take the 2 BOAKAI, put in a wheelbarrow, go sell it back up. Maybe the Jalo will say the BOAKAI here that $14. When he sells, the Jalo say, yeah, bring my $14. Sometimes the profit that over A will be like maybe, for example, $300 or maybe $400. Then he take that one to go and eat. That's how people are surviving. People who used to carry money to go and buy goods, the money now they're no longer carrying goods. So they will just go to this store and say, I'm begging you, give me slippers, give me this, let me go and sell it. They go and sell it. They bring the people money. Then they leave $5 or $10 is in their hands. So that's how people operate. That's how you see these stores. Most of them operate because it's very difficult. I'm telling you this because I have family members that get stole down Waterside, they get stole even right in our real life. One time I was speaking to a family member of mine, and this person was telling me that Prince, it's not easy now. The way first time, at least the people used to come. So now they used to come and bring someone and lay. Maybe if they want about, for example, $1,000 goods, they will bring like $300 and say, oh, I'm begging you, I want $1,000 goods, but hold it $300, let me go and sell. I will bring the balance money. The person was telling me that this time it's not even happening again. It's not even happening. The way first, at least people used to come and bring half of the money and take the goods. This time it's not even happening. So the only thing that is happening are people who we trust, they will come and say, oh, please give us these goods. They carry it. After 1 or 2 weeks, they bring our money back. Then we ourselves, we can be able to buy and put it in the store. Entering in these stores, destroying it. You know what you are doing? You are destroying the life of that person who's supposed to go down there, be able to take goods, at least to go and sell, take the profit, and bring the people money back. You are also affecting them. That place is a very, very, very huge economic hub of Masorado County, especially, or we say of Liberia, because
The
people will
entire
come from
country.
all over. The entire country,
The
people can
entire
come from all
yeah.
over to that particular relay. People can come from all over. There are some people, they are not living down there. They go there, they do their business. I know of somebody who was living, they are not selling there now, but they were living all the way they were living Kakata. And they used to come to real life to come do their business. So just imagine how many people will come. People can come from all the way Nimba to come in our real life to come do businesses there. And look at the kind of act that is being carried on. This is pure gangsterism by the government. This is pure gangsterism by the government. Look at this. Look at this act. Look at what is going on, people. You look at what is going on. Police is deployed all over the place. Look at what is going on. The people store. There are people who go in the people store and stealing things from there. You see this group that is here? You see the police? Look, as if there is a war situation. You see here? Yeah, look, you see here? You see what is happening? Some people entering some people's store, taking some things from there. Put all of the people things outside, say breaking down store. Look at these kind of things that are happening. Look here, my people. You look at this kind of look here. Look at the kind of thing. You went there early in the morning. People ain't even in their store. You go there in the name of court center or for us to come and invade people. Some people did not even wash their face before. I'm talking about wake up from bed yet. You went there and start busting the store. Start busting the store. Listening to this other sister here. Yeah, listen to this sister. Let's play this sister and see if we can get her here. Listen to this.
Liberia, welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever.
Look here. Hey, man. You see what is
Live happening. This is inside Liberia. Serious stone throw. Why?
You see what is happening?
Liberia.
there. Just look there. It reminds me of Haiti too. So to make you a look at the kind of thing that's going on. Look there.
This is inside. As you can see, the officer is.
What do you say about it?
Me, my brother, I don't know much about that, but you must respect the law. The law is.
They're like very ridiculous. Very ridiculous of Liberians that have been affected by this particular project. Look at. What are the parties involved? Look at.
When you work with government.
You're working with government.
Okay.
You're working on lawyer.
I know much about the place because I was.
I understand. So all I see Muslims, but I want to tell the government. Like you can help between two Muslim issues, you wanna inform somebody to be in a confusion in the area.
So you think what going on currently between the police and some of your colleagues, you think that's the right way?
The area.
So you think what going on currently between the police and some of your
So many years. They've got to give me the passport later. He bro. What he do?
Just listen to
created an account when the Malian men went and carried the people to the court. The current chief judge created an account for all those schools. They saw their team to pay or that really deal with that account.
and then you know
So I got the chapter. I've been following the case for more than a month now. You see in this property, the current chief justice created an account when the Malian men went and carried the people to the court. The current chief justice created an account for all those schools. They saw their team to pay or they really deal with in that account.
how much is that particular money?
No, I don't know the amount, the total amount of money. Come out family give that total amount of money.
How much is to pay?
No, I don't know the total money they used to pay. 1,000, but they are not paying it to the Kamara family. They are paying it directly to the chief judge. He created that account. When see I'm here currently, I represent the student community, the Muslim student community in Mossoraro County. You understand? And there's a Muslim school that is here. That's why I'm here today. You understand it? Muslim school is in this building. Muslim school is here. And school are in section. You understand it? Academy are already open and school are in section. Saturday classes. No, it's not Saturday classes because we still have national exam. It's still a little bit fine, but school is in section. Today is Saturday morning school resume. You understand? Okay. But the information we got up, the Kamara family are there in the 60s. And you know, in the 80s, you understand it, come out from it, or 1970, you understand it? And there's a law. Let Justice Minister get this clear. There's a law. Whenever, look, you know what I mean? Let's just forget about the whole entire discussion, right? There's, for example, if you have a property and somebody can reside on your property in 25 years, that property automatically is for the person.
Which lost it?
We lost it. That property is automatic.
Which
just go and read.
Which
can you please put the law? Can you please put the law? Exactly. Go and make.
Are you leasing? The property automatically belongs to you.
If you have a property and you have. No.
I'm more concerned about what led to the the police. What led to the police? I mean, the resistance.
Thank you very much. The first thing. When they send a surveyor, according to the information we got, when they send a surveyor, they told the surveyor to do a economic survey. The information, while doing the economic survey is there to know the means and the bound of the land. You understand it? Later on, she was called, according to my information, she was called to do a ownership survey. I mean, the survey now, economic survey is
time. We got to take this down, but basically, you see, government have sided with one person and thought it was that we enforce whatever the law is, not even taking into consideration the school that is there, not taking into consideration businesses that is present at that particular location. It happened on Saturday. Today is Monday. Police went there and used maximum force. In fact, they used what we refer to as lethal force. Can you imagine? Look at these things that is happening. The government is going about and just breaking homes. This is sad, fellow Liberian. This is sad. But again,
Yeah,
this is what we
so
voted for.
in,
Yeah,
in
Honorable Dwyer.
conclusion, yeah. So in conclusion, for today, I just like to say this to those listening to us. Um, we like to say we talking not because we have voice, because we know how to talk or we are the best talkative. We are talking because we need to measure this government by its deliverable. Now the bigger question now is, um, does this president or has this government on their measure of rescue? Have they rescued the poor people? Or this government has just been pressing itself? For all indication, the government is even spending more effort. They're doing more in building their headquarters than building of the universal abroad, in building of our economy. And even the yellow machine they promise, they are doing well in building their own headquarters and raising money. Then building on issues, sectors that will redeem the poor from abject poverty. So ask yourself, fellow Liberians, is life better off today than it was 2-3 years ago? Ask yourself this critical question. For the Oriental deal, to Paris, to red light, and a crackdown on everything that is happening in the country, we ask a simple question, right? Where is the relief? Where is the dignity that Mr. Walker promised? Where is it? So in these circumstances, one would think that a nation that is living with conscience, a president that has conscience, a government that is equistic, and not equistic, but altruistic, a government that means can altruism above egoism, it will use its conscience this time around to look at the welfare of the people. A country where a father is falling down and dying because of hunger, one would think that the government will use conscience, the government will use some policies grounded in reasoning, intuitive and administrative reasoning. Instead, this government is careless. So, fellow Liberian, no father should die of hunger, and no newborn baby should born with trash bear in their hands. Unfortunately, this is what is happening in Liberia. We have a father dying because of hunger. Even at that moment, if he had drunk water, he would have lived. For you to die of malnourishment, of hunger, it suggests nothing was available for him. The basic necessity of life, food, clothing, and shelter, nothing was available for him. He died of hunger. In this time, the government has made no statement whatsoever. Nobody knows what's happening to social welfare. Today is Honor Ministry of Gender. Social protection. Where is the social protection measure on our governance infrastructure? Nobody cares. So this is what is happening. And as for the overdue, let me just emphasize that Section 36 it equals the citizens 5%. We want this citizen equity. We want to see it. We want them to show us the beneficiary. We want them to show us how this is going to benefit the people, and let them show us the governance metric, the governance prescription. We have to highlight also that Oriental, they are not developer, they are flipper. They are not investor, they are criminals. They are not investor, they are 419ers. I'm telling you. So what is inside for the Liberian people has to be made clear, and we vehemently reject this deal. This deal doesn't represent the Liberian people. We are asking also for what happened in real light. We want the government to investigate, but again, how many investigative reports has the government shown? Nothing. The incident involving rape, the incident involving Kenjol, the incident involving everything that's happened, there has been zero investigation so far. So we say we leave our own with God, because Mr. BOAKAI, he can make it. He doesn't have that intuition. He doesn't have that mindset. So my people, let's keep praying until 2029. This being said, we'll say thank you. Wednesday again, we will be here to educate you, inform you, entertain you, and bring you information that you deserve to hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dogwayu. Fellow Liberians, as Honorable Dogwayu take his leave, we want to say thanks to all of you. We want to really appreciate you. On this note, we are going to read some of the comments that we have here. We are going to read some of the comments that we do have here. So we're going to read some of the comments that we have here. Like I said, some of the comments that we have here, we're going to read them. My brother Frank O. Gongano Molba, who is the Secretary General of the DMV chapter, he said, we agree. But Joseph Boyka government is a rapist government. Most of Joe MB ministers and officials are raping 14 years old girls in the country. And that is truth. The information and the records are there. That is truth. Let's move on to let's go on to, like we said, some of the comments because of the very, because of the choice of words that in some of these comments, we're now going to okay, we're now going to highlight some of them here because some of you don't, filter your words, and we can be able to read them here. Yeah, we can be able to read them here. But let's see what we have here. Yeah, there are so many comments that we have here. But, all right, so if you can call, let me see. Let's put up the number. If you can call, fine. You can call and then have your say on those things that we've talked about. Let's use the next 5 or 10 minutes to be able to, take calls from you. Those of you who want to call in, you can definitely call in and have your say. But fellow Liberian, to end on this particular note, the government of Liberia has proven to be very, very useless. Mr. BOAKAI has proven to be a president that does not care about the people, that has no empathy, sympathy on the people. All he cares about is living his extravagant life and making himself to feel fine at the detriment of the ordinary Liberian people. Today, when you read the report from the GSC, it clearly spells out how government have neglected its responsibility, how the government is not even catering to those things that are of priority, especially those things that you and I are supposed to benefit from. Today, look at the level of violence that is all around the place. Everywhere you pass, there is violence. Everywhere you pass on this side, there's another violence. You pass on this side, there is another violence. To the extent that people who are supposed to even be protecting the government, they are also engaged in acts of lawlessness. And I don't want you to believe it. I want to play a video here for you as we close up. This is a government official in presence of one Charles Brown. This is Charles Brown, labor inspector. This particular labor inspector, according to him, went somewhere to go and do inspection. And there was a level of violation. This particular investor, this Chinese investor, according to him, violated. My people, if an investor violates, let's just even move investor from there. But if an individual violates, don't we have laws that we can use to ensure that these people account for their actions? Must we take law in our own hands? Must we treat them as if they are some kind of, one would say, criminals? According to our law, one is presumed innocent until proven guilty. But look at how this Charles Brown, labor inspector, look at how he is treating this particular Chinese investor. And I will put it on listing, just listing here. Listen to this. No. Is this how you treat investors? Is this how you treat investors? Is this how you treat investors? Look at what is happening here. These are the people who, according to them, they're supposed to represent the image of government and promote the image of government.
It doesn't mean because this man is not a Liberian, so we should not talk about it. Because you know what? This video have gone viral. This video has gone viral. There are many people who have watched this video. Since we left this video here, it has gone viral. Is this how you treat your investor? Let's even agree that there were bad labor practices that were carried on. Is this how you treat these people? Why do we have the courts in Liberia? So we should no longer use the courts. Now you see why mob violence is all over the place? Because even the people who are supposed to be representing government and projecting a good image, look at what they are involved with or what they are involved in. But fellow Liberians, when you vote for a kleptocratic regime, when you vote for a man who has absolutely no idea, a pathological liar in Joseph Nyuma BOAKAI, a man who only cares about himself, this is what you get. This is exactly what you get. Look at what is happening. Is this what you voted for? That these people should be treating? Let's even agree that this man is, not a Liberian. Let's even agree on that. But is this what we should be doing? Is this the kind of image that represents us as a people, as a nation? Will this encourage investors? Will this encourage investors? Look at what is happening here. Look at what is happening here. Look at this. Well, if you ask why is it that violence has taken over the country, these are some of the reasons. These are some of the reasons. Look at their So when the Charles Brown became a police officer, when he became a police officer, when he became a rescue officer, when well, my people, time have caught up with us. In this thing that we do, time is very important because we got to manage our time. Time management is important. We have other stuff to do, but this is very important. I want to say thanks to all of you. Hopefully on Wednesday, we will be here. We are here on every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Until we meet again on a Friday, my people, or on a Wednesday. Have yourself a God bless day. Kindly like the page under the Palava Hut. Follow our YouTube channel. And let's engage in the comment section even after the show. I want to thank each and every one of you. And from our end, we say bye.
We will not allow small children to tell market when they should be in school. They should be in school. We will not allow those young ladies to go in the street whole day yourself. The money you make can't even buy rice. We can't do it. We want to put dignity on our people. And that's why we're here. That's the mission we have. And I can assure you, if you check your calendar, it's exactly 4 months from today. Today's the 10th, right? When is the election? You start checking. 4 months to the date. After 4 months, you will see a new Liberia coming up. You'll see a Liberia that will give you hope. You'll see a Liberia where corruption will be king of the public.